a lot for them to bring it on this diplomatic level and, employing our government and their government to addressing the issue diplomatically, that there's so much injustice going on, which is not us, because we're one people. We treat foreigners right, particularly when they want to come do their business in our country. It is something to look at, isn't it? All right. 2 fingers in the air to all our Ghanaians. We love you and want you to do your business well in Nigeria. However, Nigeria and I recall vividly that we also took a diplomatic channel to addressing some of them where we had to intervene through our ministries and all of that going on. Don't you guys like Nigeria? And taking a business, what is it? But a lot of Nigerians were complaining that we're being frustrated by authorities, state authorities, and by Ghanaians also. So, see, it's a two-way traffic. Shouldn't be, but it happens. And diplomatically, we can address whatever grievances there is here, there, anywhere. Okay, so I just thought to share that with you because I thought it was quite interesting with the placard like President Tinubu must sack IGP, Ghanaian investors. Quite interesting. All right then, welcome to Hard Facts. My name is Kimberly Wachko. Call me the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the fellow Chanya One, Madam Speaker. And I will say yes to them all. I'll be here till 7ish and would have a wonderful time together. Yes, I said it. I know one of my bosses who were like, why do you always say you have a fantastic time? How sure are you that they're going to have a fantastic time? I know, I feel it in my guts. It's a gut feeling that they're going to have a great time. It's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll start off with the big stories, driving conversation in the country. And then at the 4 o'clock hour, I would have Tracy Okoro Isaac as my guest in the studio as we look at the rising youth population. What does it mean? You know, she put out an interesting article on LinkedIn saying it was about policy paralysis, not the growing population itself. That is more of the threats than our numbers. So to make for a great conversation when she joins me at the 4 o'clock hour for that. And at the 5 o'clock hour, our focus will be on the 10th Assembly. What they're talking about, what they're deliberating on, we will be bringing it on the table and getting your 2 cents on it. So if you're ready, I'm ready for the big 3. Where is the coalition? Why are they not registered yet? Even INEC is concerned about that. The Independent National Electoral Commission has told a coalition of political groups seeking to register a new party ahead of the 2027 general election that no amount of public pressure or blackmail would override the need for strict compliance with constitutional and regulatory requirements. The electoral body questioned the coalition's compliance with key legal and procedural requirements, warning that party registration was not merely a political declaration, but a constitutional process governed by strict guidelines. INEC also denied reports circulating online claiming the registration of 2 new political parties, the Independent Democrat and the People's Democratic Movement. Several opposition members had recently accused the electoral body of refusing to register new political parties, raising concerns about the inclusiveness of the electoral process. And the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amici, accused the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, of blocking the registration of new political parties. Speaking on TV sometime in June, Amechi praised the former INEC chairman, Professor Atairu Jega, for ensuring a transparent electoral process that led to the APC registration and eventual victory in 2015, and said that the current chairman of INEC, if he were the chairman in 2015, we would not have won, he said. That's an important point. May God bless Atairu Jega, because the ground rules were clear. The current chairman of INEC can only be compared to you. When we were to register APC, Jega opened the door. We complied with the registration requirement. He got APC registered. The current man, if you comply with all of this, he would not register you. All right, that's him talking. But INEC is saying, see, there are strict processes. If it's based on this alleged that the previous INEC chairman did not follow those strict guidelines, doesn't stop this one from following it by the books. Yeah. So it says the Movement of the People, a political party inspired by the legacy of late Afrobeat singer Fela Anikulapo Kuti, also sought registration from INEC as a political party. And in a statement by its pro tem chairman and musician Seun Kuti, a group said The group said Nigeria's democracy cannot thrive when political space is continuously restricted. So there's quite a lot to look at here, actually. The allegation that is coming from him that they're making the INEC chairman, the current INEC chairman, is making the process a lot more difficult to register new political parties. I mean, we know in the past, didn't we have like 90 something political parties, and some of them had to be deregistered because they were literally inactive?
I am so tired of boiling water to drink like it's a full-time job. The last time my family...
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk. Still the big three. So is INEC stopping some parties from registering? Are they making it extra difficult? Well, that is what Amici alleges, the former Minister of Transportation and two-time Governor of Rivers State, that the present INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Jagga, is blocking the registration of new political parties. However, INEC is saying there are strict procedures to follow in registering. What are the procedures? I mean, something to revisit and really talk about. And recall when we had quite a number of these political parties, and it just felt like they were crowding the space, and people were a little confused as to the number of pages you have to flip through to find the right political party that you were hoping to vote for at the end of the day. Now, since 2018, no new political party has been registered in Nigeria, while 72 existing parties had been deregistered. This severe registration limits citizens' political choices and undermine true democratic representation, is what he said. Other coalition leaders, including former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, the chieftain of the APC, Saliu Lukman, had blamed INEC at different events over non-registration of political parties ahead of the 2027 election. Now, reaction to the allegation, the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC Chairman, Rotimi Oyekomi, dismissed the claim as unfounded and stressed the importance of compliance with the Commission's regulation. I think it's time for us to get in touch. We'll get in touch with Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi to perhaps remind Nigerians, educate Nigerians once again what this regulatory requirement is that, these groups are saying, INEC, why are you trying so hard to stop us from registering a political party? It was easier before. Why are you making it difficult? So we're going to find out. Did something change in the Electoral Act? Is there a new process, particularly since 2018, when those other parties were deregistered based on poor performance, no representation, not even at the local council level or state? Do they have any registration? And the rules are the rules. So we're going to find out what it is and then compare with what they are alleging at this point in time, because you should be able to allow for political party to register, but not every group will just up and decide to be registered as a political party without following the laid down guidelines. So who isn't telling the whole truth, or who is distorting the facts at this point in time? Well, you heard one side, you've heard INEC telling you there are procedures to it. Well, spell it out and let's hope they go through the procedures. But it's something that we need to talk with INEC, invite them over for a conversation to know what it truly entails. He says, conditions for political party registration were outlined in the 2022 regulation and guideline for political parties. The condition for applying as a political parties, he mentioned where it's contained, among other things, an association seeking registration shall submit its letter of intent along with its proposed name, its symbol, its acronym, not less than 12 months before a general election. If approved, the association shall make payment of an administrative fee as determined by the Commission. Upon receipt of the evidence of payment, an access code shall be issued to the chairman or secretary of the association for download and submission of some funds and document within 30 days, the CPS said. Explaining further, it says some of the documents to be submitted to the Commission include constitution of the proposed political party, the manifesto of the party, title deed, tenancy agreement, or other evidence of lawful occupation of its headquarters in the Federal Capital Territory, register of members of the association, which is their names, their addresses, their phone numbers, their email address, affidavit by the national chairman or national secretary of the association confirming that indeed it is an authentic information that is being provided in the document. Now, when they get all of this, receipt of the online application and the accompanying document, the Commission would then proceed to evaluate the application and document to ensure that they meet the legal and administrative requirement for further proceedings. So these are some of the processes that needs to be gone through. So it's now left for us to find out these new political parties that are trying to register, have they done all of these things before crying wolf? Yeah. I take it back. Maybe they're not crying wolf. Maybe there's a substance to what they're putting out there. But have they done all of these things? It's something to find out. And have they done all of it and INEC is still making it a little difficult for them to be registered as a political party? Well, it's time to find that out also. But it is what it is. But what do you guys think of more? I mean, we've been talking about a coalition. No one is sure just yet how it's going to look like. We now see that some people are trying to register a political party. So the coalition might be, coming together of certain individuals to form a brand new party. It just might be a merger. It might just be a coalition also. You never can tell the form that you take. But we know for sure that two political parties are in the shadows and the wings at this moment, waiting to be registered. And they allege that INEC is making it that difficult. Well, we'll get your interpretation of this in a... Yes, me, feel free to call me up. And if this one story you want to talk about, the phone lines are 0700 9510 0809 597869. Or you can call via WhatsApp 0809 993 0137. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're welcome. Right, sir.
You see, I believe in multi-party, but I don't believe in mushroom political party. I think if we have
but how do you define mushroom in this instance? Help us.
You see, a mushroom party is a party that cannot win a single councillor.
How do you know they won't win? Do you have like a crystal ball, prophetic ball in front of you? That is what they're not winning.
They cannot win a council. So why do they want to register? They are just trying to populate our station. So let them edge them out. We don't need this ideology that can fight. You see, don't to me let's go and retire. I mean, this again a lot more pressure from APC. You see what it is now?
All right, thank you very much.
Functions, and then the next thing.
No, but is it fair to judge beforehand? The party isn't registered yet. The party is telling you that we're having difficulty registering, and they're pointing straight at INEC and say you're making it extra difficult. Now, we know there are quite interesting characters that's name have been mentioned, like Amici, and the fallout with his party and wanting to, register a new political party. But who's to say a party is going to succeed or not? I mean, when the APC was coming together, it was a pocket of other political parties that were coming together. And the beginning, when we had political parties being registered, some of them was organically registered, not based on, okay, we're morphing other political parties to bring these out. So you never can really tell the success or not of a political party based on maybe the individuals in them until after the election, and then there's no representation anywhere. Then you start to really wonder. I will definitely be quick to say we shouldn't have as high as we had back then when we had about 90 political parties. I thought it was preposterous because it just felt like every single one of them had presidential candidate. Not a lot of them had governorship. Not a lot of them had, representative on the state or the federal level. It just felt like everybody wanted to be president. There was some kind of madness and obsession at that point in time. I don't have to flip through pages to find a party on election day because there are too many. Very multi-party country. We appreciate that, but then there can also be borderline insanity around the number of it, particularly if they're not strong. But how are you to know which you would label mushroom even before they're being registered? Yeah? I mean, you would say give them benefit of the doubt and then see afterwards. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Kurora.
I greet you in return.
Thanks so much. Donald is calling from Niger State. I think we have freedom of association. You understand? INEC is an allegation that lay on them. I think they should come and prove us wrong. That these people are just telling lies. You understand? By going to the media, you understand? And address the nation so that we know our stand. Yes, some people say every political party is entitled to win from the local government to the federal level. If the INEC will use the electronic, I'm telling you this. Once they go to it, you will see that the local government chairman is not the INEC, not the no. You understand? So, if it will work, I'm telling you, even the party are going to lose their show.
God bless Nigeria. Hello.
Good afternoon, Kim.
Welcome to the show.
Dr. Lajide from Muse.
Go ahead, sir.
As of today, we have more than 25 political parties. And out of these 25, 2, 3, 4 cannot come together and be registered. And people want to register new parties. King, these people are just playing. They are not ready. Do you know why they want to register political parties? There is subvention for political parties that INEC is paying. You discover that some people, about 3, 4, 5 people just gather together, they register a political party, and they are collecting that money from INEC. That is the purpose of some of them that they want to register a political party. By now, do you know why the coalition is very difficult for them to form now? Once they form it, whether Labour and PDP, that means 2 of them are losing that party entirely. They have to get a name in. Will PDP ready to lose PDP name? Will Labour Party ready to lose Labour Party? These are one of the strong obstacles against these people that there are many of us didn't understand. Because this coalition are talking about, till today, we have not seen them to move, say, okay, as of today, these are the people that we are together. And we think within ourselves that we want to register a political party. We have not seen anyone. The Labour Party movement candidates are moving up and down. The SDP, all of them are just moving about. There's no concrete solution within themselves to say, okay, this is where we are. This is where we are going. All these things they are claiming that they've not registered them. I let know those that want to register that they discover that these people don't have what it takes to build political parties. How can 4 or 5 people gather together and say they want to register a political party that will contest election around 36 states of federal government of Nigeria? These people are not ready.
All right.
Thank you. God bless you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. And I think it's time to just throw in another story. It's not all the time that you hear things like this, like EFCC arrests certain individual who are members of the State Assembly for what? Well, for abuse of procurement process. Some of them deal with vehicle in their custody after their term in office. So the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission said they arrested Moses Sule, former Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, and 14 other members of the state legislature for abuse of procurement process. The 14 former lawmakers are Gowot Form, Sania Bubakar, Joel Philip Gwom, Thomas Datong, Happiness Matthew Akau, Cornelius Dotyok, and Agbalak Ibrahim. Others are Danjuma Azi and Balandat, Solomon Taminu, Wanglet Namba, Rimuyat, Nimchat Rim, and Ishaku Mariman Paul Datugun. A statement they put out yesterday by the EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewole said the arrest of the former lawmakers were sequel to allegation by concerned Plateau citizens accusing them of violating the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 and abuse of procurement process. Oyewole said the former lawmakers spent only 6 months in office and the state government bought luxury vehicles for them in their official capacity while they were there. Investigation further shows that the said vehicles were valued at 2.5 billion naira. Upon leaving office, after you know what happened, the vehicles were meant to be returned to the state government, but they were taken away by the legislators, and our effort to retrieve them have proven abortive. The statement reads, the state government had to procure another set of those for the present members of the House of Assembly valued about 2 billion naira. The former speaker and other members will soon be charged to court. In November 2023, the Court of Appeal nullified the election of former Plateau State lawmaker because they were not validly sponsored by the People's Democratic Party for the 2023 election. The DP structure in Plateau State collapsed in 2020 and that the party cannot aim to have a structure to sponsor a candidate to contest an election. This one did number head in because they're like, you know, they had a similar, but almost tied to about time with the well, seeing that we do not see having a proper structure in the state as such, it nullifies whatever outcome was put out by that group for this election. And so you saw all of them move, even though the governor survived at that point in time, and they felt it was different interpretation from what you get from the State House of Assembly and what they got from the Supreme Court for the governorship at the end of the day. So after their 6 months stint in office, returned the official car. No, they went away with it, and EFCC, due to complaint from citizens, decided to follow it up and they will be charged to court. They actually have a picture of the former lawmakers just backing the camera who were actually, rounded up over this and will be charged to court. Now, the thing is, it begs the question, how many state and federal have we seen away with things that don't belong to them? We've talked about it even at federal, where some of them, they at almost like a giveaway price. You buy something for millions, you buy exotic vehicles and all of that. And then at the end of the day, you hear the kind of auctioning in the National Assembly. I know there were some members, workers, I'm not going to call them members, but the workers also in the National Assembly who at one point were intercepted for trying to remove, computers and stuff during the changeover and all of that. So it does happen, everybody's trying to exploit, but this one is interesting, and we'll get to see how the court interprets it. They're feeling entitled to but I was in the house for 6 months. But they're saying it's official, it's your personal property. So once you leave that office, you leave it behind. Maybe it's time we start interrogating for everyone, or after your term, 6 months or whatever period, to see, do you leave them behind? Do you go with them? Or do you auction them at a deadbeat price so that, you exploit the system at the end of the day and get away with it? But it's a good one we're seeing with Plateau State, and we'll get to see how these pans out at the end of the day. What do you think is going to happen? We'll find out from you as you share your take. Hello. Yes, you're welcome.
God bless you, Mr. Pius from my camera.
Go ahead, Mr. Pius.
Please, I want you to help us find out. Somebody has just told us about the political parties receiving subvention from the political parties. I'm not so sure that is correct.
Well, I will confirm if it continues, but yes, they do get.
Well, I think government has done away with that arrangement.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that recently, I'm not sure, but in the past, they used to get subventions and all of that from the state. And remember, it was such a big issue, particularly when those 70-something parties were deregistered. A lot of people brought it up.
Please.
Hello? What happened? Hello? Okay, I don't know what is going on. Hello?
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. My name is Abdul calling from Maitama.
Go ahead.
This is not a new thing, even in federal capital, even in Villa. If Mr. President finishes tenure is going, they pack all what is inside. That is the usual thing since 1999 is happening. The EFCC are talking about they just phoned in to trade their opposition, not to do their own job. It's a normal thing. I'm not surprised when you are doing the news or whatsoever. At last, they are going free. They will build themselves. They know who to communicate at the top because they are not one of the political parties. It's around the corner. People are endorsing Mr. President for 2027 election. They will go into that line. They will not speak with him and tell him we have our members that we are trying to do politics. This is the usual things. I'm not surprised, and that is how we found ourselves. The law is not working. The authority is not working. That is the reason why even the federal capital, there is no security everywhere. That is what is happening. So my sister, EFCC or whatever, or no EFCC, DSS or police, why is it that government will not allow police to do their own job? That is the reason why you see even the insecurity we are experiencing in the country is not going to be end in a democratic dispensation. How will you pull out military and give them the assignment of police? Are we not having police in a democracy? This is the responsibility of them to protect life and property of people. And you now neglect them and pack them and give the politicians, the policemen, one.
Okay.
The policemen following him around. Thank you very much. Keep doing what you are doing and do it very well. May God help us.
Thank you very much. Okay, like I pointed out, I would get in touch with Mr. Rotimi Yokomi. We're going to have detailed conversation. Yes, in the past, political parties do get subventions, but not after the registration and recently. They do not get this kind of direct funding anymore. Hello? Going to be clarified when I get my guest on board. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Auntie Kim.
Yes, you're welcome.
How work, man?
Work is going pretty well. How's yours going?
Auntie Kim, that's nothing. I just want to this because this is Bishop calling from Western today.
All right.
APC and their supporters will not select. How do people from a political party, even know by gathering together, even going to church and going to mosque to pray, even know by gathering together? People have to gather together and pray for the political party. I'm surprised that the way I'm even seeing it, the result of 2027 election has been written and prepared. May God help you. Have a nice day, my sister.
All right. Thank you very much. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, my Mrs. Diora.
I greet you.
I remain my home self from Montayo, reaching you from Galadima this humble afternoon. All protocols to I read all the callers and listeners. See, the Oracle, very quickly, concerning the EFCC going after the lawmakers because they went away with the vehicles that were allocated to by the state government. You see, is it not unfortunate? If this were not the norms, you see, we run a system that is abnormally norms, the everyday norms. Because if this were not the norms, let me ask the 9 vehicles they used before they handed over to the 10th Senate. Where are those vehicles? Why do the senator to buy for themselves 100 and about 180 million or 100 and how much million vehicles allocated to all of them when they just came into office newly? I mean, you can your answer is as good as mine. If they were there, if they had not been taken away, they will be not buying another one. You see, that is how they just waste our public funds in this country on needless things. That should clearly tell you that the EFCC is just chasing after shadows or probably victimizing their opponents. I mean, that's just what it is. And then on this other issue about the registering political party, you see, the truth is the Oracle. No, you don't need registering more political party. Or in fact, if you want to register as many political parties, please do. It is where the people want to vote. Do you know that there are some runner-ups that if they go to any of those parties I tell you, some persons who are saying the party do not stand a chance of winning local government positions. I tell you, those parties we may probably win the presidential. That is how good it is. Labour Party is nowhere here as at yesterday until Peter Obi joined. So it is just an element or a fact of whoever is running the party. Forget the registration or not. Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank you very, very much. And just so you know, a federal high court in Maitama has granted bail in the sum of 50 million naira to Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, senator representing Kogi Central. In the ruling today, Chibuzo Oji, presiding judge, rejected the application by the federal government to remand Natasha in prison custody pending the trial. Like, let us stay in jail, no bail on on this particular one, but the judge apparently said no. The judge held that there was no justification to deny Natasha Okoti-Uduaghan bail, noting that there was sufficient evidence before the court showing her willingness to face trial. As part of the bail condition, the court directed that the senator must produce one surety, who must be a person of integrity and owner of landed property within Abuja. The matter was subsequently adjourned to the 23rd of September for commencement of trial. The senator appeared in court today in company of her husband, Emmanuel Doha. Also present was Obieze Kwesili, former Minister of Education, Aisha Yusufu, human rights activist, and a number of other supporters. Natasha Okoti-Uduaghan was arraigned on 3-count charge bordering criminal defamation with the federal government as the complainant. The charges were 15th of May 2025. Case lists Godswill Akpabio, Senate President, former Governor of Kogi State Yaya Bello, as nominal complainant. Now, according to the charge, the lawmaker was accused of making imputation, knowing or having reason to believe that such imputation may harm the reputation of a person, an offense under Section 39 of the Penal Code, Cap 89, Law of the Federation 1990, punishable under Section 39. Natasha Okoti-Uduaghan on account. The Kogi senator was alleged to have claimed a TV interview that Akpabio plotted to assassinate her. She was accused of making damaging statement about Akpabio's private phone conversation with one Sandra C. Dubuja on about March 27, 2025. There was a series of confrontation between the lawmaker, which culminated in her suspension from the chamber on the 6th of March, what the leadership describes as cross-conduct at any time. The suspension followed an issue involving seating arrangement, what Natasha later described as harassment by. So we know the government took the case court. Bello and IPO claiming the senator specifically that was behind the effort to intimidate or initiate I spoke about the former Kogi State governor. So the case there, and this particular one that was taken by the federal government against the defamation of this individual, they want that to be in prison. Would have any reason to hold that, so long as she have to be on bail until the 23rd of 2025. So it's still much there, it's not quiet, but in all of it, I mean, we're still counting down to the 6 months of our suspension and how long it would drag for, and waiting for the presentation of a constituency. If some chance they decide to allow her resume. Hello.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I remember Mustafa Bakar Ali Ketinubiki. I'm calling from Kirubukuba. Kimberly, I want to ask a question. If an MD of a company is sacked, does he live with anything? I doubt he will be allowed to live with anything. But if he again is give action other things, yes, right?
Go on, keep
so are you with me?
I'm listening.
Good. The legislatures were sacked, so they were not entitled or whatever. The cars should have been left for those legislators the court pronounced that they are the duly elected legislators. Like you are trying to remember, it was the 14, the governor, the federal legislators, the state legislators, everybody from A to Z was that our lady, current minister for defense, the governor. Everybody left. So the EFCC is on because under the law, it was supposed to return all the allowance they received, all the monetary assistance for this month. They were supposed to deposit it back in the account of the State House of Assembly. But out of the magnanimity of the governor, decided to let them go with it. But they still went away with the cars. So EFCC is spot on. Kimberly is not everything that we use emotion. Please, the law is the law. Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity.
All right. Thank you very much. And I think we need to run for a quick break, and then we'll take the rest of it after the break. But while we're waiting, let's look at some of the comments you sent in. I'm pained whenever I see little effort the opposition are putting towards ousting the current administration from winning or rigging. How can paperweight politicians gather together, get registered in order to contest 2027 election without any structure or grassroots soldiers? How are they going to win? I've never seen a government that has good ride and funfair in power like this present one, despite their performance in office. Don't be deceived. This group of people are looking for their pockets, says Obedient Man in Mecca. Ocha from Madala says, based on the subject matter in discussion, those craving for the registration of their parties are not just pursuing any righteous cause. What were their input when they were in the mainstream? They are bereft of solid philosophies and have nothing to offer. Oh, being harsh on them, I see. The Oracle, the last caller should not mislead the public. INEC doesn't give subvention to political parties, not anymore. I'm asking the political parties to get kind of direct funding more. I don't believe Amechi, this man continues to see government as his only venture where he can make money. I remember the same Amechi told us he's hungry. Is he telling us that the money made while he was in government has finished? That's how desperate they are to come back into government. You see some of these people talking because you think they love you, but we can only have one person president at a time. Would be your doom sense at that one end. Okay, let's hear this caller quickly. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
All right, welcome. What's your name? Good afternoon. The day is good. We already read your message. Why are you still calling? You have something else to say?
No, I'm not calling. It's my calling today. I'm not calling today.
No, I said you sent a message. Go ahead.
What I want to say the case of this person is that APC leaders is try to kill President Kanye. We pray to God that it shouldn't happen. And that woman is a chief leader. That woman says things the way it is. He doesn't hide anything. But we don't not allow them to destroy our President Kanye. That attack will be the next president of this nation. You are saying it. I'm telling you. Without guiding, guide and guide my family. Amen.
Right, thank you very much. That's his take on it. I'm afraid we have to put a plug in and would revisit this conversation some other time. But our guest for 5 o'clock is already seated in the studio. So after the news with Dorcas, we'll get talking about the youth, the rising youth population, not just in Nigeria, but Africa apparently is blessed with that healthy demographic of young people. So what are we doing with the number? It's lack of planning that makes it frightening. Nothing else. We're talking about these and more. So please tell us.
This is Nigeria.